Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you in part by Story Bleich Roofing. We've got you covered. Metal, slate, tile, asphalt, and shingle. We're locals you can trust. Story Bleich Roofing right here in Pensacola, Florida. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two of the same short track guys in the studio as always. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com Sportsman and 2021 Sportsman Champion, and Ted Baber, Ted Baber Video Productions. What's up, guys?
Greetings. President and accounted for.
Yeah, that's it. And we keep getting closer and closer, and we can do 10 days now. Yeah. On this Wednesday in our studio, Short Track Guys podcast style, 10 days. Just a reminder, on the 17th and 18th, we got the pageant downtown Pensacola, the preview, practice, and a Crown Stock 40. That's going to be big. We're going to go over some past winners of the Snowball Derby in case you haven't. Well, we're going to throw some names out there in case you haven't heard. And a little trivia that you might be able to pull with some of your fans in the stands. Some track records we're going to go over. They are fresh because we have 3 that were set this year. One happened to be in a new class. One is probably going to stand there for a while. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It's been there since 2014, and I don't think it's going anywhere for a while. The All-American 400 in Nashville, we've got the results of the pro portion of that, and the big one that happened on Sunday. We have results from the North-South Shootout at Caraway, which is a familiar name that we have thrown around here in the studio quite often. Might or might not have done it again. We don't know yet, but we'll get there in just a little bit. And we do have a follow-up on last week, in our opinion, in short track racing and how to save it. There are a couple of racetracks that we want to bring up to shout out, and hopefully the public can get involved. Pending hearing this episode and see what we can do about saving some of the ones that we're going to bring out here in just a little bit. And we do have an event on Saturday night here locally at Southern Raceway. The Enduro race, we'll touch on that here at the end and then do our infamous sign out at the end of this Wednesday's episode. But to begin the week, on the 17th down there in downtown Pensacola, the pretty girls crowning a Snowball Derby, a Miss Snowball Derby queen.
Yes.
With all the duties that come along with that. And then the 18th, that 17th and 18th is really just going to kick off the week.
One of my favorite nights.
Hell yeah. And it's actually the first actual official race of the Snowball Derby with the Story Bleich Crown Stock 40 lapper. That's going to be a bad to the bone event, and it's free to come see. So bring your butt out and eat a hot dog and watch some Crown Vic action because it's going to be rough.
Yeah. After 40 laps, after 25, they're going to start sliding all over the place because they're just not used to going that far here yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
We still don't have a list on how many cars might be in that.
Nope.
Yeah, they haven't put it out yet, and that reminds me, I've got to get my Snowball Derby entry in when I get paid next week so I can get my name on the list.
Yeah, and before that, the 18th, these guys are going to go to Montgomery. I just want to throw that out there, too, with the Story Bleich Roofing. The Crown Stocks racing at Montgomery Motor Speedway for the first time on the 11th.
This Saturday night.
Saturday night. So, guys, if you've got your cars almost ready, you still got time. If you don't have it and you're just a race fan, make your way up to Montgomery and check those guys out.
Going to be a good show up there. Man, wherever they go, those cars put on a show. So it's going to be big. And congratulations on Stan Harrison for working a deal out with Story Bleich Roofing because they're everywhere.
They
Mobile,
are.
Pensacola, Montgomery, up and up.
Yeah, and we've all already heard about them trying to put together a national championship.
That would be neat.
Yep.
That makes me almost want to sell mine and build one because then I can run it anywhere I want to, and I wouldn't have to worry about a certain racetrack to race it. I could take it anywhere I wanted to.
Yeah. Well, we had Marcus on not too long ago, and he did say he wanted Pensacola to be one of the hubs,
right?
If not the hub. So it sounds like he's well on his way the next, probably season or two. Well, it might just be the hub.
That's it.
Could be, yeah.
So not only that 18th, the Saturday is practice and open practice for everybody, and that Crown Stock 40. That sportsman class is going to be running out there doing some practice, and we just happen to have a 2021 sportsman champion here with a sportsman car, and he's going to go out there and see what he can do.
Yeah, we're going to try to get some speed. We got to find about 0.3 of a second. We've been off this year, and special shout out to my good old buddy Ben letting me use his shop this week. We're going to make some adjustments, do some changes. Thank you to the Gins family for allowing me to keep my car at their shop now. I'm back in the home where that car was built. So we're going to see what happens. I just want to go have some fun this year, man. We've really not had any fun, and I want to get the fun back out there. And with the fun comes speed, and with the fun comes wins. Got to remember to have fun. So that's my game plan. Saturday, I'm gonna burn up a set of tires and have some fun and see where we land.
I'm hoping part of the overall plan is to put it back on the trailer in one piece.
Oh man, our Derby luck has been awful, dude. We've only had one podium Derby finish. We've had several close ones,
right?
And several times we should have been there and got dumped or got involved in somebody else's mess, like on the first lap with the 357 and the 32 that year. Yeah, and I got stuffed in the inside wall and drove from the back. And then the year Jimmy Goodwin, he's my buddy, but he dumped me with 10 laps to go, and I restarted 16th and finished 5th.
Well, just think what could have been.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. It's just no luck. But hey, it's okay. I'm going to have fun this year. Mm-hmm. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to get racing with my buddies. We're going to grill out at this track. We're just going to have a good time.
Yeah, and that local entry form is out on the website too, in case you haven't. I mean, if you've got a printer at the house, you can probably print it off and then fill it and then drop it off, or pick one up at the racetrack. But it's just maybe a little bit more convenient to have it where you can print it out and fill it out at home, and then have it ready on the way to work or something and drop it off.
Or you can actually fill it out online and pay for it with your card online. I may just end up doing that way.
Even better.
Yeah, and I'm not a tech savvy guy, so heck yeah.
They try to make it easy, as goof proof as possible. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Forget who you're talking to.
Oh boy! But hey, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have good times, and who knows what's gonna happen at the end of the night? You just never know.
Yeah, well, we do have a little big one before that on Saturday night. There's the local racing too. We can get with the Pro Lake coming in Saturday night in the Alan Turner Snowflake 100. Man, what an entry list! I think the last I saw was about 54 entries to date. And I'm just going to run down a little bit of the entries here that we are familiar with. John Bolin, Chris Munson, Elliot Massey, Jeremy Miller, Stacy Crane, Jolyn Wilkinson, Bryson Schaffer, Brett Suggs, Hunter Robbins, Anthony Cataldi, Brent Cruz, which was a big one, Gavin Bushell with that War Rackley team, right. And Dawson Sutton will be there as well. Jeb Burton, we all know Jeb Burton, Augie Grill, Stephen Nassy, Jarrett Busher, and Grant Enfinger from Fairhope. He's got it listed as Mobile, but I think he's actually from Fairhope.
He's from Fairhope, Alabama.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of news with Grant Enfinger here this past weekend. We touched last Wednesday on it with going for that championship Final Four at Phoenix in the Truck Series. We'll kind of discuss a little bit about some of that when the time comes here in a little bit. But they've got a big field, and it's always a big one, and just as much pressure Saturday night to get in a Snowflake as it is.
Oh yeah,
Sunday's race.
Friday night is the pressure cooker of the entire weekend for anybody that's in the super late class. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, if you don't qualify in the top 20, you don't make it.
That's it. Yeah,
the top 20 or top 30?
I think they do 30.
They do 30, and then the other four are from the last chance qualifier, and I think there's one provisional.
Right. Yep. Depending on, I don't know how many provisionals actually wind up.
Might be two. I've seen two before. Yeah. I think you if you're the Blizzard Series champion, you're automatically in, and I think the promoter can choose one more.
Right.
Because they did that for Rich Bickle, remember?
Yes.
So actually
David
Bickle,
Rogers.
Yeah, David Rogers. No, actually, Rich Bickle got in on former. I think if you've won it, you're automatically in.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's just. Had 34 cars, and it's going to be, the best of the best.
And it will be extremely tight, I can guarantee you. There may be, I hate to even guess, maybe 2/10 top to bottom.
At the most, 2/10 from first all the way to 30th. First all the way to the last car that qualifies.
Right.
There's very few, there's no slackers in that field.
No, none.
And the big show either. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Saturday and Sunday, a lot of those times, even though they're going to be separated because of the difference in the cars, a lot of those names we just mentioned will be there on Sunday.
Double duty.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Bubba Pollard's in there for the big show. Sawalich. John Bolin's doing double duty. Eric Jones is going to be there. Andrick
Dimayuga.
Dimayuga.
Yes.
He's actually entered in the 5 car for Richie Waters.
I'm glad you got that one, not me.
Oh, God, yes. Jacob Gomes. I mean, listen to some of these cars. I'm not going to go through all of them, but my goodness, if you want to look it up online, look it up. But this is the best field of late models I've ever seen. Gio Ruggiero, Sammy Smith, Cole Butcher, Noah Gragson, Carson Quapple, the Car Series champion. The brothers won both Car Series championships, by the way, also in the Pro and the Super. Wow. I mean, the Quapple brothers, and their dad is a truck champion, so that's pretty awesome. Jeremy Doss. It's somebody we hadn't seen in a while. Alan Carnes is going to be there.
Yeah.
The old AK-47, he's going to be driving 48 this year. Stephen Nassy, Jake Finch, Matthew Craig, Ryan Priest, the Cup driver. I mean, they're just this full of Cup drivers also. Michael Hind, Ryan Moore, who's a big time Majeski.
Yeah.
Blaine Roca. I mean, this is just going up through this field. Connor O'Kresick, which we're glad to see. He's from Grand Bay, Alabama.
Right.
He's won a big late model race against Kyle Busch.
Right.
And great race car driver. Went off to college, and now he's going to run a snowball. So that's going to be awesome. Travis Braden, former Snowball Derby winner, is in the field. I mean,
it's just mind-boggling.
Oh man, Luke Fenhouse. Just look at the names on this list. I mean, it's just crazy. All of them winners.
Right.
Every single one of them is either moving up the Cup ranks or doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited about this year. It's going to be bring you a lawn chair, sit and watch all this mess because it's going to be bad to the bone.
Everybody comes with a pedigree.
That's it. Oh God, yes. Everybody in that field is bad. I mean, it's going to be. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get it on. Let's do the snowball. Can we skip Thanksgiving and go straight to the Derby?
Yeah, right.
I'm ready to watch the sweat there on the front stretch. When you hit that bubble, you're like, who's going to be the first one out?
Yep, going to be awesome, man. Of course, we're pulling for our boy Bubba.
Yeah. For
sure. We'd love to see him finally get a Derby, and unless something happens, I think he's got a good shot this year.
Yeah, he put the car up. He let it rest.
Speaking of that, you can buy the Derek Thorne 43 that won last year.
And what's that price tag?
$160,000 for that car. But it's turnkey race ready. You could drop it on the off the trailer, and it would go on to Five Flags. It's already set up and ready to rock. But
let me check my account here.
Yeah, I figured I could write him a check, and if that one bounced, I'd write him another one.
You imagine rolling up there in an open trailer with just 4 tires.
Got a couple spare rims.
Yeah,
got a
got Derek Thorne's car though.
Yeah, I got my little tool, but we're good.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to make the field, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Speaking of those names, we've thrown around. I'm going to go down just a few of the lists, and we got some more information on some of the past champions of this Derby. Derek Thorne winning in 2022. Chandler Smith, Ty Majeski, Travis Braden, Noah Gregson, Kyle Busch. Christian Eckes won a truck race.
Yep.
Saturday or Sunday? Saturday night?
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Phoenix.
Race.
Yeah. Chase Elliott, John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones, and just to throw out Rich Bickle, he is the only 3, 4, and 5-time winner.
And only man to ever win it back-to-back twice.
Yeah.
Right. And there have been 3 of those.
Yeah, Augie Grill's one of them.
Yeah. Eric Jones.
Eric Jones is the last one.
Eric Jones, yeah, he won it. Christopher Bell won it and then got thrown out.
Right.
Because I was there that year, and that's when I was helping Pam with the bathrooms. We're down there, and we're like, why is Eric Jones over in Victory Lane? Oh, we rolled over, and C. Bell got tossed.
Yeah. Well, I do believe Augie was the benefit of a throwout, too.
Yeah.
One of his.
Might have been,
the second one. In 08, I think he was a benefit of someone.
It was a Kyle Busch car then, too. It was, I can't, because him and Kyle Busch about came to blows. I can't think of it.
Eric Jones was one that
Brian, I can't think of his name, but yeah, you're exactly right. Because he got mad at Kyle Busch because Kyle Busch, they put blowers it was supposed to be on the brakes. The blowers were pointed towards the tires. And as soon as they got the thing on jack stands, Ricky was like, nah, see ya.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. See you later. Bye-bye.
The room of doom.
Yeah. Yes. And then Kyle brings the car back in 09 and wins it.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Now, I have a rumor. I talked to somebody who might know this, that Ricky's not going to be there this year.
No, he's not coming. No, we're that's sad, too, because he's the best tech man in the business, period, end of discussion.
Right.
Well, along with those champions, some of them, this particular one has laid down the track record. So we go over a little bit of the track records for all the classes in Ty Majeski. Back in 2015,
Yeah.
16.120. That is for those of you who be out there Friday night in that pressure cooker time of qualifying. You'll be watching that 16.12. Now, the weather has to play a little part in that, too.
Very much.
It has to be good and cold.
Right.
And we haven't had a cold qualifying night in a long time.
No.
16.120 and Augie Grill. Augie Grill has the Pro Late model track record at 16.259, which is set in 2014. So that's still pretty stout. That 259 in a Pro Late model. That's I'm going to say that's cold weather too, or cooler weather.
Cooler weather, yes.
Which at one point might have got you into the Derby, but not anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, we go to the modifieds. Donnie Hamrick.
Yeah, forever.
17.265 back in 2013 in a modified. Derek Griffin in an outlaw that's 17.232 back in 2018. Grant Thompson in the Pro Trucks, 18.234. James Patrick in the Sportsman class that Jim will be going up against here in a couple of weeks with a 19.483. That was actually set earlier this year. Mason Johnston in the Pure Stock, also set earlier this year with a 21.327. And Doug Thorpe in the Crown Stock, which is the inaugural class in the season this year. Doug Thorpe shows up with a 22.119 just, maybe a month or two ago.
Yes. Yeah, that was the last race of the season they officially went for the track record because the guy that initially said it was a little bit illegal. And just a little dude from South Florida. That dude, he was one of our Crown Stock drivers of the week. Yeah. But, yeah, that's crazy, man. We look forward to that. I'd love to see track records fall.
Yeah. And what's crazier than that, the granddaddy of them all, Brian Gerster, in a sprint car back in 2014. Now, get this. Yep. Laid down at 13.046.
So close to breaking the into the 12s.
Yeah. I think they could do it now. Yeah. They probably got a little bit better technology and a new set of tires.
You think he was flat-footed?
Oh, God,
all the
yes.
way around. I mean, I had that in-car camera of Dave Steele, and all he did was just touch the brakes just a little bit to get it set it into the curve.
Just let it settle down for a second, and then just and you could hear them. Yeah. When they touched the brake, it would bog the motor a little bit, and then the rear tires would be digging so hard, and the force of the wing pushing it down the track. It's like, I mean, how do you do that? I don't know if I'd got the nuts to hold your leg wide open without just the fear of wanting to take your foot off the gas. Because if you screw up, you're going to wind out there in the woods, way down and then way out yonder in somewhere.
You could be in Cantona someplace.
Or Pine Forest Road before you land. That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
13.046. Gonna say. I would imagine averaging about 135 or 130.
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
Averaging, though. I'm not talking about straightaway into the corner, but maybe averaging.
Well, the late models are about 120.
Right.
So if you're, I'd say 135, closer to 140. I would probably say.
Yeah.
But I mean, just telling you, you have to have a big old set of them to do that, son. Them things clang, clang, clang when you walk through the pits. Put one over one side of the torque tube, one on the other.
Yeah, Santa Claus a little earlier.
Oh man, had to put some belts on them things to hold them in place so they don't bounce around while you're driving.
We shall see. 16.120 back in 2015 with Ty Majeski. And speaking of that, he was up there at the Fairground Speedway in Nashville, the All-American 400, and we've got some results with the pro portion of that, as well as the race on Sunday. A little controversy maybe, but
that we do.
Yep.
In the Pro Late model, the results are as follows. Dylan Feccio wins that one, just takes it away. He didn't win by a lot, but his closest competitor, a very narrow 1.2 seconds away, was our favorite name on the announce booth anyways, Jackson Boone. Augie Rule third, Kyle Steckley fourth, Michael Hine rounded out to top five. And we have Hunter Wright, Cole Williams, Bryson Schaffer, Corey Duser, Jim Wall was the top 10. Then Daniel Bolden, Chase Johnston, Dawson Sutton, who we are pretty familiar with, his name, Casey Klein, Evan Shotko, and I love this name. It's Isabella Robusto.
Isabella Robusto.
That's right. You got to love somebody with a name like that. Michael Bolden and Gavin Boschel Dylan Bates and Stacy Crane in the top 20. And from there on out, it was Trey Craig, Robbie Taylor, L.B. Skaggs, Andrew Scheid, Boston Oliver, Davey Coble, Nick Egan, Cody Bentley, and Mike Matsugati. Chase Berta was there, but he did not qualify, unfortunately.
Dude, L.B. Skaggs,
Yes.
I raced against him in 2000 at Five Flag Speedway at the Snowball Derby in Superstock.
Wow.
He won the last chance race, and I finished third.
Okay.
And I was faster than him at the end of the race. He had, because I remember he had a Camaro, but he had an aftermarket body over, and everybody was complaining about it. And they put a weight penalty on him, and he didn't make it in qualifying, but he started up front in the last chance race. I started 17th and finished third.
Oh, wow.
But I raced against him. I heard that name. I'm like, oh, man, I remember him. Pretty
Well,
cool.
a lot of those pro late model racers, they're going to be down here for that Snowflake too. So that was, I mean, that's kind of a prelude to the Snowflake 100 on Saturday night. But those pro late models, those guys that's another class I think has been growing. I would say probably the last 10 years has gotten a lot bigger in the late model sector of racing, and especially short track. So the guys around California area, some of those guys in the Midwest up in, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin area that don't have the funds to come down and run some of this stuff, they're running their own pro, series up there respectively and doing just well. And we just haven't, there's just so much racing for us to kind of get to, and we kind of focus on some of the big ones that we can. And, but we try to touch on a lot of it, but there's plenty more out there.
Oh, yeah.
A ton.
Definitely.
Well, the big portion on Sunday, that didn't go without saying some controversy involved.
Just a smidge.
Not much, but our favorite buddy, the Minnesota Missile, William Sawalli, came out on top. He had quite a gap over Derek Thorne, who was second. It was about 5 seconds between first and second. And we have Michael House, Austin Nason, and Willie Allen in the top 5. And then Dustin Smith, Jake Finch, Billy Van Meter, Logan Bearden, Jacob Gady. Please let me nail that one. By all means, in the top 10. And then Ty Majeski, who was in a position to take the whole thing home, didn't. He was in the 11th spot. Then TJ Duke, Josh Hicks, Johnny Aramandia. How could I blow that one? I mean, we've had that guy down here
A few times.
Yeah. And Tommy Joe Martins, Michael Hind, Hunter Wright, Luke Fendhouse, Jake Garcia, and Albert Francis. Obviously, these guys had some problems, and there were problems to be had, and we'll be getting to that in just a moment. Albert Francis, Ty Fredrickson, Cole Butcher, and Bubba. Unfortunately, he had his set of difficulties, too. Jeremy Doss, Stephen Nassy, Gio Ruggiero, Jordan Riddick, Chase Berta, Matt Craig, Johnny Brazier, Jackson Boone at the other end of the scale in the super lates. Alan Carnes and Johnny Sauter, believe it or not, was the last man on the first one out.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room for that race. How do you let a guy dump oil for a complete lap and not put out the caution? And a lot of people blame Nicholas Rogers, but actually it wasn't his fault. Boy, he caught all kinds of heck on the interweb this week.
Yeah.
Woo, but it wasn't him. But how do you not throw a caution immediately? And I'm going to tell you something else. This is something I want to bring up. The flagman should have some control of the damn racetrack.
Yes.
If the flagman sees something, he should be able to put out a caution and not wait for egghead in the tower where he might be taking a drink or turn around talking to somebody or not paying attention. And he stacked up a field of cars, son. It destroyed Butcher and Pollard and Majeski was in there and Nassy. And I mean, just some great cars. Would have probably been a lot better race had those guys survived. But no, we're going to let Cole Butcher bust his radiator and dump fluid all for an entire lap. It ain't Cole Butcher's fault. He's trying to get off the racetrack. And next thing you know, they all pile into the wall because there's oil and stuff all over the racetrack, and whoever was race directing wasn't paying attention. Yeah. The flagman should have some of that choice. If the flagman sees something, put out the caution. What's it going to hurt?
You can explain later.
Yeah, hey, I would much rather save race cars and drivers, because what if somebody got hurt?
And Majeski's crew had to scramble like madmen to get him back out there because that championship was tight.
It was like 5 points.
Yes.
So, I mean, if all Butcher and him had to do was make laps, but Majeski wound up 11th, so he wound up getting back up there. But like I said, man, we've been having race director problems, and it's time to either fix it or do something different, because you cannot allow stuff like this to happen.
I mean, you should have patrolled the track a lot before you cut them back loose and be sure, because I know that Charlie Head does that really good job out there of keeping things up to snuff where we can get out there and have a safe track.
Of course, but when there's oil obviously on the racetrack, and it's not like you couldn't see it in Nashville. They didn't see it, and they piled off in the corner and wadded up a bunch of cars. I'm sorry, there's somebody to blame. Now, there's been some bad calls in Nashville. There was last year at the All-American Ford, and Matt Craig got taken away from him for a wreck that wasn't his fault by a certain person that I mentioned earlier. But, either which way, there's some work to be done. Even in NASCAR, they've got some problems with stuff like that.
Don't they?
You've got to fix it. You can't continue to let this stuff go on. I mean, you just can't.
No. It costs too much money. You just quoted the price on one car when they piled up about 10 of them. You're talking about them like you're coming up close to $1 million in cars just in a wad.
Yeah.
Yep. All because somebody wouldn't throw a caution.
Right. Ridiculous.
Well, you live and you learn. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often in the future. And then again, I know they did issue a statement, and I didn't kind of fully read their statement as to what went on. So me personally, it would be basically speculating on hearsay of what really happened. I did see the replay. Coal Butcher did get into the back and suffer damage in the front, and there was fluid laid down. Now, whether the caution was out, I heard it was, I heard it wasn't, so I don't know, but
why would
something needs to be fixed. There's no doubt.
I agree, but you're talking 4 of the best late model drivers in the country. Yes. You think they would have, if they would have seen it, they wouldn't have drove off in there. But the thing is, I read that statement from them. It was kind of a backhanded apology. They admitted that they made a mistake and that they have work to do and they have to fix some things because they made some mistakes at the first race at Five Flags. And there's a couple other races this year that the Stars Tour made some dumb calls, I would say.
Yeah.
So, this is the first year. We'll give them a pass, but they just need to fix it.
Yeah, Tom Majeski made a statement. He was not happy.
So did Nassie.
Yeah.
Nassie's like, who's going to get fined and who's going to get suspended for this one?
Right.
I don't blame them. How much money did it cost them?
Yeah, at the end, congratulations, Ty Majeski, the ASA Stars National Tour Champion.
That's it.
And their hard work and perseverance and getting it back out there. And Cole ended up 22nd. Ty ends up 11th and was enough points to secure the championship. Yeah, it didn't go down the way because he was up front, right. And they suffered damage, but they got it together and got it back out rolling and did what they had to do to come away with the win and had a chance to win the truck race Friday night. And then all of a sudden that happens, wins the championship. So,
that was a headache and a half.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. NASCAR has got to clean up their truck series. I know we're not a NASCAR podcast, but our boy Grant Enfinger has a shot from Fairhope, Alabama. He's a local driver as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Had it won.
Yes, absolutely.
And Corey Heim does something stupid. Well, first it started with Carson Hocevar, and we're not surprised because we've seen Hocevar make dumb mistakes out at Five Flags. He made a dumb mistake in a cup race. He right hooked people. He needs to settle down. Oh. And he was upset that he spun Corey Heim out, but Corey Heim wrecked him with 4 laps to go.
Right.
Grant's leading the race or leading the points. Right. He's got it won because the 98 truck's damaged. Yeah. But Grant had to go in and get tires, comes back out. He catches 98. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Grant Enfinger is a class act because if it would have been me, I would have knocked that 98 truck sideways and won the championship. Yes. Grant didn't. He chose to finish second. But there's a picture on the internet. He's not very happy with Corey Heim. They're sitting there talking, and Grant's looking at him with this look like, dude, I want to chop you in the throat, man. I can't believe you cost me a championship. And it was the last year for GMS Racing. So they had a shot at winning the title. And it would have been 3, there's 3 different truck teams that did that won the championship, went out. One of them was Bill Davis Racing with Johnny Benson. They won the championship, and they're at the awards banquet. They're all just sitting there like, yay, because they know they weren't going to be together anymore. Right. So, I mean, that was crazy. But, you got to clean that up because these young kids, this is something that goes back to short track racing. You get these young kids that see that.
Yep.
And they're racing go-karts or Legends cars or Bandoleros, and they think, well, I'll just run them over.
Right.
What are you teaching these children? I mean, hey, just wreck them. You can't beat them. Just knock him out of the way. You'll win the race, and to heck with it. Yeah. It's got to stop. They got to start teaching these kids better than that.
You got to start making these kids get in that shop and fix that car up after you tear it up.
Yep, exactly. But good. Congratulations to Grant Enfinger, dude. Heck of a season, 3 wins. Mm-hmm. He was on our podcast. Maybe we can get him back sometime this winter and let him talk about it. Yeah. We'd be glad to have him back. But thanks, Grant, for the memories. And maybe next year you can get it next year.
Yeah. And I've heard he does have a contract signed.
He does. He is ready to go. So
right, good.
Yep, congratulations to everybody there. Ty Majeski on your championship efforts for the inaugural ASA Stars National Tour. I do want to give a little CRA Street Stock Winner Championship shout out to Dylan Oliver and the Boars Compact Touring Series winner Kyle Frame up there in Nashville too as well, part of that program. Congratulations to you guys. Everybody, regardless whether it's a compact touring series or, big late model or even the top tier in NASCAR, you ought to work hard in the shop and it all, perform on the racetrack and come away taking hardware home is one thing. The low, you leave it up on the shelf and you can see it and look and reflect back on the hard work and it's all well worth it.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Every trophy I got, I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into, and they're just awesome to have around.
Yeah.
And another one we want to touch up on, it's actually Asheboro, but, it's up there in that North Carolina area, Caraway Speedway. What we can say, Matt Hirschman again.
Surprise.
Yeah. North-South shootout over Patrick Emmerling, Andy Seuss, Gary Putnam, and Austin Kochinash. Okay. I knew that caught me off guard, but I know I just butchered that last name. But
that's all right. We'll learn it.
Yeah, congratulations, Matt Hirschman, on another win. I know there was Jimmy Blewett in there, and there was a couple of others, Jake Crum and John Smith and Riley Neal. They were all, Burt Myers, they were all battling up there in the ground pounders, but Matt Hirschman comes away with a win. Can you say, I don't know how many he's won this year, but that was a $10,000 payday. It was his third straight year that Hirschman has won the 125 lap event there at Caraway. So he's obviously got something figured out there.
I would say.
Oh, anywhere. What do you mean just there?
Yeah.
Anywhere. He kicked butt down at New Smyrna this year and all the big during speed weeks. I mean, I think he won every single one of them.
He comes, everybody else says, "Oh God, for crying out loud, would you go?"
Yeah, it's kind of like when Gary Ballou used to pull over the hill. You're like, "Oh, but we're racing for second."
Yeah, it's a little frustrating, but hey, it happens. Everybody says, "I just got to work harder," and well, you do.
Well, that's another thing. Real quick, there was some controversy on the internet about that. People saying, "Well, we're talking about people spending money on cars," and this guy says, "Well, these guys that get on the internet and run their mouth, they need to work on their cars." I was like, "Dude, do you think none of us work on our stuff?" No. I was like, "If you're in here cheating and you're spending all this money, you're spending $25,000 or $30,000 to win $500,
right?"
No. And the main egghead that does that, and he does it a lot, he stirs up a lot of trouble, but he's the one winning all the daggum races.
Yeah.
So stop with that mess. Stop telling people they ain't working hard enough. I work on mine all the time. And the reason I can't spend any more money is I don't have it.
Well, yeah, you got to have the sponsorship, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. You got to win to get the sponsorship, but you got to have the sponsorship to get the wins.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Ralph Earnhardt.
Oh, yeah. Well, that just happens to be a name on Greenville Pickens Speedway wall.
Oh, yeah.
And this is going to touch on a little bit of a discussion we had, and Ted brought it up last episode about short track racing and what's in store about saving some of this stuff. And these just came across the wire with Greensville Pickens Speedway and Southside Speedway, which is about southwest of Richmond. They're fighting to save the racetrack. Right. And Greenville Pickens Speedway has a meeting, an office meeting, November 13th. For discussion, what will happen next. Just want to give that a shout out to anybody that's around that area or can be able to make it and
get to that meeting.
Yeah, get to the meeting and voice your opinion on saving some of this stuff.
Please do.
I mean, that racetrack's been there forever. I mean, like you said, Ralph Earnhardt, two-time champion at that place. Yeah. And how many other Winston Cup regulars have won there? I mean, we got to save these racetracks, y'all. You can't let them close. Yeah. It's just wrong. I mean, North Wilkesboro, we brought it back.
Right.
Rockingham's coming back. Let's continue to save some of these short tracks. And guys, get out there and race.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come sit in the grandstands. People say, "Oh, I hate this type of racing." Shut your cake hole. Get a beer. Come sit with your buddies. Talk about race cars. That's the fun. I mean, I go to the dirt races not because I love racing dirt. I enjoy watching dirt. I go and support the dirt tracks because if you don't support the tracks, they'll close. And once they close and they're done and they're a subdivision, you can't get them back.
No, they never coming back.
No, it's done. So get your butt to that meeting and let's talk to these people, see what they can do about getting that track cleaned up and get it back open.
Right.
Yeah, this is just a couple of many that we don't know about, and we appreciate the post that goes out that we are able to spread the word. Anybody listening that knows somebody
Right.
That can get in there and voice your opinion and share your thoughts about saving these racetracks.
Get in your local government's ear, your county commissioners or whatever it takes to the regulating body in that area and say, hey, this is important to us.
It's a piece of history.
Yes.
That's the thing about it. People don't realize it's a piece of history. It's history of your area. These county commissioners should be wanting to put some money in it and get it back open. And I mean, look at Five Flags Speedway, how much money the Snowball Derby brings to this area. If there's no Five Flags during the Snowball Derby, this area loses millions of dollars in revenue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you need to talk to them like that. Oh, revenue? Well, we can make money with that place. Heck yeah.
When they see that cha-ching, they
start talking to NASCAR. See if you can't get NASCAR sanctioning. Maybe get a truck race or something, because they need to put the trucks back on short tracks like it used to be. Make it like it used to be. Run all the trucks on short tracks. Have a good Xfinity race on some of these old beat up tracks and let them eat.
Now I heard we were talking about Denny Hamlin's involved in one of these, so I want to.
Yeah, he's involved with Southside Speedway.
Yeah.
Yep. He this was 2020. After that season, they closed down, and the county, I think it's Chester County in Virginia, bought the 41 acres for $4.5 million, and they've been sitting on it. And as of September of 2023, just here recently, Denny Hamlin has voiced his opinion about being part owner and running it. So it's still on the table. Nothing has been determined about what's going to happen with it, but hopefully, and you did mention last week that, you got to get these big boys, get the big people involved, and maybe something like that will happen.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got Dale Jr. and them owning the car store, and, you can do this. Get some of these big name guys that got plenty of money sitting in the bank. Let them help own some of these short tracks, make a little bit of extra money, but not so much for the money, but for the dadgum saving of the history.
Right. They've been around a long time. Maybe that's an angle they can use. This is a historic site, and we can preserve it.
Yes,
exactly. Exactly.
And there's another one this weekend that you can also continue to support. That will be Southern Raceway. That's about 20 minutes east of us. It's a 3/8 mile dirt track. They've got the Enduro. What is it? The Cornbread 150?
The Cornbread 150.
The Enduro 2000 to win. Yeah, go out Saturday night, like Jim says. It's to support the racetracks and go out to Southern Raceway and watch that Enduro race. I'm sure they're going to have cars all the way around the racetrack for I think it's 200 laps.
150 laps.
150. Oh, yeah, 150.
What's 150?
Cornbread 150.
150. It's the Cornbread 150. But I'm going to tell you something. That's going to be a show. If you've never seen an Enduro race, oh, my God, you got to go. Yeah. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll pee your pants. It's so funny because some of these people just do dumb stuff. Yeah. I was at one at Southern years ago, and old Kelly Fowle used to race. He was down several laps, been to pits, and he come flying out of the pit, landed on the front straightaway, and there was a car had been sitting backwards for 20. This poor joker just been sitting watching cars, just barely miss him for a good 30 minutes. Here comes Kelly, and then just comes out of that corner and hits that dude head on. Boom! I laughed. I couldn't laugh so hard. And he's trying to back off that car, and he finally, when he backed up, the front fenders and the hood peeled off like a banana. Fell, radiator and all, of course, support and everything fell out on the racetrack. He drove into the pits, and that was into his night. But some of that stuff is hilarious.
Yeah, it's good time. If it's not in February and it's about 2 degrees outside and the wind is blowing across it like the hair is on fire and its backside's catching.
Yeah, exactly.
Been there on top of the tower.
Cornbread 150, Southern Raceway, Saturday night. I believe that is the 11th on your calendar. So get out there and support the racetrack. And until next Wednesday, guys, it's always a pleasure to get with you and talk short track racing. Short Track Guys podcast style in our studio. And until next week, we'll have some big news with some of the results and more big races coming up. We'll get ready for something we got special brewed up here in the middle of December.
Yep. I think so.
Until then, it is a
1,
2,
3. Let's go, Brandon.
Good night, everybody.
Be strong, America.
Thanks for listening.